Fairy tales gave us an unquestioned belief in miracles. They are awesome. Unless you're a young child whose world is about to be shattered by discovering the truth behind them, the movies that were lovingly marketed to us as kids and their messages of limitless hope were not what they seemed. Are you brave enough to discover the grim and gory truths behind your favorite childhood movie memories? Then stay tuned to 10 shocking truths behind Disney's cutest films. Snow White. The first film ever released by Walt Disney Animation Studios was 1937's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. A sweet tale of a sad princess, a wicked stepmother, and 7 adorable roommates was adapted from the Brothers Grimm fairy tale. The movie literally changed the course of animated film history and the life of Walter Elias Disney. It also changed the ending of the original story, likely due to a telegram writing campaign from angry parents over Snow White and Prince Charming exacting revenge on the vile queen. As punishment for attempting to kill Snow White, the soon-to-be married couple invited stepmommy Dearest to their wedding. But joke's on her, as they force her to wear scalding hot iron shoes and dance in front of the other guests till she just up and dies. Apparently the poison apple didn't fall too far from the insanity tree.
Have a bite!
Pinocchio. Disney didn't exactly learn their lesson with their second film, The Tale of a Wooden Boy Who Wants to Be Real. The source material taught Pinocchio, who's kind of a jerk in both versions, a much harsher lesson for lying than getting a giant nose. This from a cartoon that had children smoking and drinking. In the 1883 children's book The Adventures of Pinocchio, our protagonist runs away shortly after coming alive, causing Geppetto a short trip to prison for child abuse. Not finished, the young sapling robs his dad, who surely regrets carving that log into a stupid puppet. Pinocchio eventually gets out on his own, getting conned by immoral animals and biting paws off cats. And that's the first half. Though one item we wished the Disney movie kept, Pinocchio accidentally steps on Jiminy Cricket, killing that know-it-all insect. Yeah.
Good piece of wood, too.
The Fox and the Hound. When Todd the Fox and Cooper the Hound Dog met in 1981's The Fox and the Hound, they vowed to be friends forever. By the end, they've overcome their inherent differences. In the 1967 novel of the same name, Todd and Cooper are mortal enemies. Cooper's human master hates foxes. Real bad. So bad he gasses Todd's little cubs to death. Twice. And kills Todd's mate twice. He spends the whole story hunting Todd, unable to kill him, just whacking every fox him and his vicious dog run across. In the end, oh, nothing awful. Just Cooper chasing Todd until he literally dies from exhaustion. The dog's reward for finally capturing his master's nemesis? A shotgun bullet in the face, as the master moves away. I smell a grim and edgy reboot of this classic kids cartoon. Frozen. Frozen, one of the most successful of all Disney films, is very loosely based on the Hans Christian Andersen poem, The Snow Queen. While it's not shocking this story didn't contain adorable silly snowmen, fact is, not much nice happens in this version. It revolves around 2 cute kids destined to fall in love. The boy is caught while wandering and kissed twice by the Snow Queen, because 3 times would kill him. Duh. The icy lip smack gives him amnesia, so she kidnaps him and makes him do puzzles to prove his love to her. Eventually, the little girl finally finds the boy, after losing her memory too, and smooches the boy to undo Snow Queen's spell. Elsa, Anna, and whimsical but wise singing trolls are nowhere to be found. Apparently, Disney just let it go.
You sacrificed yourself for me?
Oh, I bet my surprise is bigger!
Tangled. Based off a Brothers Grimm fairy tale, Tangled tells the story of a pretty lonely young lady with really long hair. A dame in distress kept secluded in an obviously not up to building code tower. In Rapunzel, the story from which it's based, things end up similar, but the journey is much different. First, baby Rapunzel's dad abandons her, giving her away because his wife can't stop eating special flowers that only grow in Mother Gothel's garden. And the prince she marries, well, he's blinded because of his love. Pushed by Gothel, Rapunzel's warden, from the tower, landing eye first on a thorn bush, but not before knocking up his love with twins, who then gets chopped off and cast away. Fear not, they eventually do find each other after the prince aimlessly wanders the countryside, hearing Rapunzel singing. The Little Mermaid. Under the Sea seemed like such a fun place to be as the Dayglow 80s gave way to the grunge-tinged 90s. Ariel and her stoner crab buddy Sebastian enjoyed the life aquatic till a future Disney princess spies, with her little eye, a man. Her dreams, however, do not come true in the 1837 fairy tale the movie is based on. In order to become a human, the Little Mermaid loses her tongue along with her voice. And those legs that she gets to walk on, they feel like they have knives in them when she dances, which the prince she's so longs for is always asking her to do. Making matters worse, the royalness friend-zones her, marrying another. She has a chance to return to ocean life by killing her former flame, but she decides to sacrifice herself to the water, turning into sea foam and possibly goes to heaven or part of a dragon roll. Bambi. For some, Disney's fifth animated film Bambi didn't leave out enough from its source material. Bambi's mother being shot and killed by a hunter in the film was a seminal moment for many children. Their first experience understanding that everything eventually dies. His mama still dies in Bambi: A Life in the Woods, the 1939 novel by Felix Salten. While Bambi is saddened, it doesn't affect his life as much, as his mother has already abandoned him, hoping Bambi will learn how to take care of himself. There are also way more deer, and one less thumping rabbit, but most of the extra deer get slaughtered too. Seriously, the hunter in the book just kills and kills. He even kidnaps a deer buddy of Bambi's, convincing the younger doe he's essentially an all-powerful being, don't ask, and then kills the deer too. What the fuck? Mulan. Thus far, no historian has found proof that Eddie Murphy traveled with Hua Mulan, the legendary female fighter from the Ballad of Mulan, as he did in the 1998 animated adaptation of the Chinese poem from the 6th century. He has aged pretty well though, so maybe... Okay, moving on. Similar to the Disney film, Mulan was a young woman with a background in martial arts. When her father is drafted in the army, she pretends to be a man, to take his place to become a famous warrior. Her time after battle is much different though, with no romance in her future. She returns home to find her father dead and her mother moved on. Plus, she's got to go back and serve as a sex slave for the emperor. She never ends up down that path. She commits suicide. Fun!
No.
Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast has been a hot property, right? The 1991 animated film solidified the fairy tale's place in modern culture with a whimsical yet adventurous tale of soon-to-be Princess Belle and her sick boyfriend. Unfortunately, the Beast and potential parent-in-laws don't get along in the original story. In the most common variation, Beauty volunteers herself to stop Beast from killing her father. Both stories find Beauty living the good life in the castle, with Beast slowly falling in love with her. However, in the fairy tale, Beauty returns home and her sisters give her a ton of crap because her life didn't actually suck while she was being forced to live somewhere against her will. She eventually returns to find Beast acting like a douchebag, starving himself because he misses Beauty so much. Get a grip, Beast bro, God.
Get out.
Sleeping Beauty, released in 1959, almost killed the animated fairy tale musical genre. Maybe it had to do with source material? Several short stories from the 1600s. In all of them, there was still a beautiful princess and she still sleeps a lot. However, a sweet kiss upon her lips does not wake her up. Nope, she's found by a wandering prince, but he's unable to wake her, so he just rapes her. She doesn't end up waking up for another 9 months because she's having twins. Good news is the little ones are the reason why our princess finally rises, as the infants literally suck the evil mojo out of her. It doesn't get better. Her unwanted baby daddy's wife gets jealous of all this and tries to cook and eat the babies. Thankfully that fails and the king marries the awake Beauty and they live happily ever after. Ah, ain't love grand? Nothing is ever as nice as it seems. If you didn't know that lesson before, after listening to your childhood memories being crushed by boulders of truth, you might now. Don't let it get you down though, they're just stories, and tales passed down from generations always change a bit. It's entertainment's version of the telephone game. In 20 or 30 years, they'll be doing it again, this time with more robots. What dark backstories haunt your dreams? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to CBR for cool vids about movies, TV, gaming, comic books, and more.